Hi everyone, I'm Levi Perigo with QuivAR, and I'm going to give you just a quick overview of how to use the QuivAR app with the X-ray series targets from Delta McKenzie. So first, if you've never used the app before, you're obviously going to open up the app, and then there's a few options there. The first we're going to do is activate target. Now when you do this, the first time you're activating with this target, you're going to need to do authentication, and we like to call that chipping in or chip in, and it's going to be the same as any other pay, tap to pay, Apple Pay, those kind of things. So you're going to tap the target with your phone. And a little pro tip here: on Apple iPhones, it's usually going to be on the very top end of the phone, so it makes it a little easier to chip in. So I'm going to hit activate target now, and it's going to ask me to scan, and I just simply tap the edge, and then it's going to say put your camera over this little marker, and as soon as we do that, the anatomy is going to be displayed. That's all there is to do it. You just chip in the first time, and then you're going to show your screen that marker, and then we have the anatomy, and that's when we can do all the fun stuff. We can take off the different anatomy and see different things in there, but that's all there is to it, right? So now what we want to do is we want to go back and shoot the target with our arrows. So you're going to go back, and that's going to bring you back to your main menu. Go back, start shooting your arrows, and then you come up, you want to see the anatomy again. So what you're going to do this time is just hit the rescan, and you don't have to chip in again, right? We've already authenticated this phone with the target. So for this session, I'm just going to hit rescan. I'm going to show it that little screen, and then the anatomy comes up. Okay, again, that's all there is to it to have the QuivAR app work with X-ray series targets. Now I'm going to give you another pro tip. All right, so what we have here is when you're looking at the anatomy, you can see everything very clearly. Okay, but if I wanted to touch it, you can see how my hand is kind of behind the anatomy. So by default, we have it set this way. But if you're up here with your buddies and you want to show them, maybe you're pointing at arrows or anatomy, there's a setting in the top right that you can click Enable Person Detection. And what that allows us to do is we can actually put our hand and point to different things on the target. And so this is if you're kind of arguing over who has the best shot and you want to actually point at it, you want to enable that. Okay, the only downside to that is sometimes the anatomy will flicker off a little bit depending on what you're doing. So we have that off by default. Okay, then the last thing, one more thing to show you here is you can always scan this again by hitting the Q icon at the bottom of the menu. You don't always have to go to that home screen and activate a target. You can just hit that Q and it's automatically going to take you into scanning a target. Okay, but the last thing is, now that we're back at that home screen, since I tapped this elk for the first time, that's now unlocked. Okay, so you can see on my screen that the bear is still locked because I've never chipped in with a bear target before. So if I go to a store and there's a bear there, I can chip in there, or my buddies, and then that'll lock that anatomy for you in the library mode. And the point of that library mode is just so you can review the anatomy, start thinking about shot placement without actually being in front of a target. So again, this is just an overview of how to use the QuivAR app with the X-ray series targets by Delta McKenzie.